Hello everyone, welcome. So in this video, I'm going to be making this particular design. Well, this is the final result. The reason I am showing you the final result, well, is because I think it's the best to see the final outcome in the beginning. So anyway, this is going to be completely step by step and for beginner friendly. And one more thing I want to just discuss. You can skip this part if you want. I saw many people were confused that what keys I'm pressing while making a design. Well, I could use a tool that can show you what key I'm pressing, but that will be, well, unnecessary because I use hotkeys pretty much on every important tools, and all of them are custom made. That means that they are not Marvelous Designer or Glow 3D default. So even if I show you what key I'm pressing, you will still be confused. So instead, what I'm going to do in this video is I will not use any hotkeys throughout this video. Well, the downside of this method is that the video length will be much bigger. If you're okay with that, let's continue. Well, the very first thing what I'm going to do, I will just import my avatar. Well, this is important. So just double click and import it. By the way, one more thing. Let's delete this. When you use a custom avatar, maybe a metahuman character or any character that you made or your friend made, if you want to use that, you just have to do, it's very simple, just have to drag and drop onto your Marvelous Designer Glow 3D. The character should be obj or apx. Just drag and drop it, and if you want to get the arrangement point, which I'm going to explain just in a moment, all you have to do is just click on this auto arrangement points, and yeah, make sure this is avatar to automatically pick this is avatar. I use unit centimeter, and yeah, you're good to go. The fitting suit, if you're not sure what this is, just keep it unchecked, and if you hit OK, it will create the arrangement point for you. So whenever you go and show arrangement point, it will be there. So yeah, by the way, it will work on fbx or obj. It doesn't have to have any bone or skeleton. Another very important thing that I really like to do, which is the skin offset. If you double click your avatar to select the whole avatar, and you can find in the property editor that there is a skin offset unit millimeter, which is by default 3. Well, there is no wrong or nothing wrong about this, but I find 3mm skin offset, it's way too aggressive. It's basically, if you don't know what skin offset is, you can watch this, or if you already know, you can skip this. There will be timestamp. When your skin offset is by default 3, you can see there is a huge gap, well, 3mm of gap between your skin of the character and the fabric, and that's ridiculously aggressive. As you can see, this is, well, what is this? I don't like it. Instead, I always use 0, meaning there is no gap between my skin, not my skin, the avatar skin and the fabric. But here's the thing. By default, the vertical distance, which represent the density of topology, MD and Glow 3D's default vertical distance is 20. Sometimes just if you just make the skin offset 0 and your fabric vertical distance is 20, sometimes you see clipping. You cannot see here. You need to just increase maybe more, maybe 35. As you can see, there is a lot of clipping. That's the only reason they use skin offset. If this is 3, there won't be any clipping issue. But to be honest, I never use 35. I never use 20, in fact. I always use 10. So in my case, 3 is just unnecessary for me. So I use 0. But if you don't want to use 0, that's also perfect. Just keep it below 1 millimeter. So yeah, that's what skin offset is. Another thing I want to do is, let's add a random fabric, and I want here in the garment display, I want to toggle off seam line, internal lines, pen, and pins, and also measurements, because I don't need them for now. The threads, I like to have it toggled on. And here in the garment rendering style, I want to keep it thick textured surface. By default, it's only thick textured surface, but I want to use thick textured surface so I can see the both. I can see the both sides. Yeah, that's it. All right, now that's it. I want to just dock this entire tools. These are the main tools, and if you're using Clothes 3D, I'm not sure in the latest version they added this. This is an amazing feature. And I also want to dock the sewing tools. And again, I'm not gonna be using any hotkeys in this video. So use rectangle pattern tool to make rectangle. As you can see, this pattern is basically this basic t-shirt pattern. So I'm gonna first make a basic t-shirt pattern, and then we can modify. So when you select the rectangle pattern tool, just drag from the neck and around the hip area, something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. Use the add point and split line tool to add a point here and around here. Again, these are not hardcore. You just don't have to measure anything right now, so you can just add any way you want. I mean, it should be closer where I'm adding them. And I'm going to use edit pattern to select. Just make sure these two are very important. One is add point, which you can add points anywhere in the segments, and another is edit pattern, and I highly recommend you to add them or use them as hotkeys. It will make you really fast. So when you select the edit pattern tool, you can just select those points, any points or any segment. So I'm going to select this point and holding shift and select this point, and you just drag while holding shift like that. All right, so this area will be the neck hole, and this area will be the armhole. So I'm going to just make this armhole a little bit down. I'm going to use the edit curve point tool. There are two tools that you can use to make curves, which is one of them is edit curvature. So you can just edit and make curvature. I don't use it. It's not very amazing. I use edit curve point tool. So just select that tool and add a curve around here and just make a curve, and also here. Don't worry about anything right now. In this stage, your only goal is to fit the garment as good as possible. This is the shoulder line. So use edit pattern to select this point, not this point, and just drag like this, because the shoulder, as you can see, is a little bit ramp. If you make it straight, it will be very bad. Don't make it. All right, so I'm gonna use this transform pattern tool, which I think by default is A, the key A, but I modify it to Q because that's my default resting position, the finger position. Anyway, so I'm gonna select that and select the entire garment or pattern, then Control C and Control V to copy and paste right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move it on the back like that, and this one I need to flip the normal. So what I'm going to do is in the 3D window, right click on that and flip normal. So yeah, half of the pattern is already done. That's perfect. I'm going to select these two patterns, then right click and symmetric pattern with sewing, so you can get similar, like identical pattern on another side. So now it became the whole pattern, the simple basic t-shirt pattern. Perfect. Now sewing time. I'm going to use the segment sew. There are two type of sewing in this tool, in this program, in this Marvelous Designer. One is segment sew, which lets you sew well the segment, and another is free sew. We will use both sewing, and don't worry about MN. I'm not going to be explaining in this video, maybe in another video. So segment sewing, I'm going to sew front. You can also sew in the 3D window, but I highly recommend you to use 2D window most of the time, and the back, and also the shoulder, like this. Make sure, guys, your sewing threads are not reversed. If your sewing threads are reversed, like maybe like that, you'll notice, you will instantly identify that this is wrong. So if you make this is not the end of the world. You can use any sewing tool and click on the sewing, then right click and reverse sewing. Yeah, just make sure this thing is every sewing pattern, every sewing thread is straight. One thing, there are artists, there are pattern maker, they usually use this, like their pattern layout is something like that. Well, this is completely perfect. So this is, I mean, whatever is comfortable for you, just use it. So basically this is the front pattern and this is the back pattern. I am not comfortable with this, so don't let this type of thing confuse you, because these are very basic things, and just do whatever makes your life easier. As you can see, I didn't sew the shoulder seam, the side seam for now. So I'm gonna first space to, well, simulate and just adjust it a little bit, and then I'm gonna use the segment sew to sew the side. Now this is the basic pattern, basic t-shirt pattern. By no means this is a good pattern, but if you make this, congrats. Now from this point we're gonna make things a little bit better and fit things a little bit better. By just looking at it, I can say this is a little bit bigger, this is a little bit baggy. I don't want baggy right in this video, so I'm not gonna be using this bigger pattern. So I'm gonna select everything with, well, transform pattern tool, and just drag this like that to make it, well, not baggy. Don't make it like this. This is not good, this is way too tight. So somewhere like should be comfortable. All right, now let's see the design for a bit. This is a sleeveless design, first of all, and this has a collar, of course, and as you can see, this is a V neckline. So there are three things that you realize, that this is a sleeveless, there is a collar, and this is a V neckline. So let's make it. Just because this is sleeveless, so I like to start with the shoulder seam. So this and this are the shoulder seam. Well, my first task is to move this point, move this area around here. How to do it? Well, you can just use, like, click here to see where it is. This is what it is, and you can just drag a line, drag something like that. But in order to do that, you also have to drag like this. This is, well, it's okay if you want to do, but I don't recommend it. What I recommend it, a little bit like scary for beginners, I might say, but if you practice this kind of thing, it will make your life so much easier. Just select this point and select this segment and this segment, then right click with edit pattern tool, and then there is a feature called match up and to start. It will just arrange the pattern together. Well, at a first glance, this is so scary, especially for beginners. Like if you're a beginner and if you move your pattern, it is chaos. I know your pain. Don't let this scare you. Now, as you can see, this point, this point and this point are now together. So if I just drag this with edit parent tool and just move it anywhere, I can just move it both points together. Let's hustle and faster. So I'm going to select that and just carefully drag this around there, maybe a little bit more. Again, this thing I'm doing, this is not the final. I will continue reshaping these things. This one, this is that. Just drag this a little bit like that. Perfect. So I can have a little bit like that, maybe a little bit more. Yep, something like that. Now, how to just go back in the normal position? You can just select that with transform parent tool and just rotate it like that and just drag it like that. It's also cool, but if you're like me, you can just select this point, these two segments, right click again, match up to start. The solder seam now is fine. Let's not worry about that too much. By the way, you can press Shift A to show your avatar and hide your avatar. As you can see, the armhole, surprise, it's already very nice. I don't have to, like, it's already smoother. So yeah, if there is like pointy thing, something like that, I need to smooth things like this. Just with edit parent tool, just make it a little bit lower, something like that, and use edit curve point, not edit curvature, but edit curve point. Just use the existing curve point to just smooth things out. Basically, this round shape should be round, not pointy thing. Because this is sleeveless, I need to focus on the armhole a lot more. So this is the front armhole, this one. So I'm gonna use again the curve point tool and just make things a little bit like that. I mean, not that much, maybe like this. Always hit space. I think the armhole is a bit wide or bigger, so I'm gonna select these both points and oops, just drag this like that, and make sure this is not, this should be smooth. The back neckline, I'm starting with back neckline, then I will come to the front neckline. So the back neckline, you can just arrange the two back patterns together like this and just use edit parent tool and just make this all the way like that, and also use edit curve, because if you simulate this is what, this is like ridiculous, so you have to smooth things out, which should look natural. And also, let's see, well, it is okay. Make sure it is smooth enough. Perfect. Now the front neckline, as you can see here already, this is a V neckline, so there should not be any round kind of thing. Let's arrange it there. As you can see, if you click this, there is points. There is point. If you want to delete all the point from this segment, all you have to do is just click the edit parent tool, select this segment, right click, and delete all curve point, so there won't be any point, and that's what I want. I told you that I don't want any curvature point in here, but I lied. I need one. So just click this edit curve point and just add a point and drag it, something like that. This area should be smoother, while this area should be V, something like that. It's up to you of how deep the V neckline you want. I also need to make this a little bit smoother, so I'm going to use edit curve point tool and just make things a little bit like that, not that much, maybe like this. In the back, I also want to make this something like that. And there's another thing I want to do is I'm going to select again this and this segment, right click, match up to start, and just select this entire segment and just move it like this. Perfect. And do the same thing, match up to start. And also with edit curve, it's just fixing. in this stage it is boring, I understand, but this is crucial stage. This is where you should fit your garment. So I'm just manipulating the points to fix these things. And also I want to make this one a little bit upward, and maybe something like that. There should not be any pointy thing. Yeah, this looks much better. Instead, not instead, but except this one. This is an excess fabric. Well, it happens because of the bust area. As you can see, this area uses most fabric of your pattern. So to release it, it creates something like that. So this is an excess fabric which looks pretty ugly. You don't there are just one way to eliminate that, which is a dirt. We have to use dirt. If you're a beginner, if you don't know about what dirt is, well, I haven't made any video about dirt. Maybe in future I will make it, so you'll understand better. So dirt is basically, it helps you to reduce unnecessary fabric. That's it. Yeah. This is the best explanation I can give right now. I'm going to use dirt at this point. So I want to reduce fabric from here. So this is the area where I want to reduce. So I'm going to use add point and split line tool and add 2 points, one here and one here, around here and around here. Perfect. Now again, hover over here and then right click instead of left click and use uniform split, so it will be placed right in the middle of these 2 points. Hit OK. With edit pattern, well, I'm going to just drag it like this. Don't worry about too much right now. So when you do that, it will just ease up some fabric, and it will give you, if you sew it, it will give you a nice fitted look, which basically I want. But when placing a dirt, this point or the direction of this point is very crucial, otherwise it will mess things up. So you have to find the bust point, which is the most prominent point of a female body or of a body, around this area. So this point should go that area, yeah, something like that. It should not go like, it should not exceed, or it should not go through that bust point, but it should, like, there should be few millimeters of gap from the bust point to this point. Make sure the dirt legs are the same measurement. So right now they're not. This is 83 and this is 73, 10 millimeter of gap, which is huge. So you just have to just manipulate one of the point to match the both. Like this is 0.7 and this is 0.8. This is perfect. This is not like, you don't have to worry about 0.1 millimeter. You segment some and sew this one, and when you simulate, it will reduce all this excess fabric, and it gives you a nice fitted look, which I actually want. But I really want to reduce a little bit more. Like this gap should be a little bit more. So let's see, 91.7. This should be also 91.7. Yeah, this gives you a nice fitted look. But as you can see, when you add dirt, it really messes up with the roundness of the hole. So this is not very good. You have to make it nicer. So how to do it is very simple. Do not touch the dirt. Just use edit curve point tool and just fix it. See the 3D, always look the 3D window and don't look the 2D window for now. And I just want to make, you can just delete these points. The less point it is, the more freedom to work with. It should be nice and straight, and I want to just this like that. Yeah, something like this should be nice, but this is not right. I know this dirt should go around there. Yeah, so let's fix this as well. Sometimes you have this, so you really need to place this in the right way. It's kind of hard in this 3D model to find the exact bust point, but it should be here. Okay, it is sometimes really hard to find the bust point, but yeah, anyway. This two line or the dirt legs should be similar. Something like that, and this should be nice and round. Yeah, it is taking a lot, I know, for the fitting, but trust me guys, this is so important. Don't ignore the fitting. I know in this stage this is the most boring thing for many of you, but just bear with me, stay with me. All right, let's make the color. This is a very interesting color I never touched in this channel. This is a lapel color design, so it looks something like that, and yeah, it looks cool. A little bit trickier, but it's not that tricky. But yeah, anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything with transform pattern tool in the 3D window, right click and freeze this. Make sure you are happy with the neckline, which I think I am. I'm going to turn on the show internal line, so whenever I make an internal line, it will be visible on the 3D window. Alright, I'm going to use the internal polygon line tool and make something like this collar shape. Do not worry about this right now, just make it. This is a, well, indicator, or yeah, something like that. So yep, this area is important. Just make sure that this is where you want, like there's a separation in this color, as you can see. So this area should be around here, and make sure you're happy with this area. So when you make that, right click, extend trim and add point to pattern outline with edit pattern tool. So what it does is it will create a point here. I hope I explained this nicely. Maybe. Let's now create a rectangle, something like that, and let's now measure this one and this one, which in total is 151.0 millimeter. This line should be 151.0, so let's make it 151.0. This is 152.9, so let's make it 151, yeah, 0.4. Let's reduce 0.4. So this is 151.1. Perfect. Now let's do one thing. Well, as you can see, this is very important to understand. This color in 3D window or in 2D window, as you can see, this is not straight, this is curve, but our color is straight, which, well, it's not a huge deal, but it will give you some fitting problem, which I really want you to avoid that. So instead, just don't make this like this, make it like this. I'm gonna show you. Edit curve point tool, just add a curve like that and add a curve like that, and just make this a little bit bigger. This should be something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that in the 3D window and rotate like that. Yeah, this how can I say, this area, like this area should be in the back side, something like that. See, this should be like this. I hope you understand. Something like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the freesawing tool and I'm going to start from here, click here and just drag it like that. You can just release the click and click here. Okay, so it's just clicking. One sewing is complete. Now what we're gonna do is you can hold shift and just start from here and something like that, and don't lose the shift and just something like that. It should end here, and you get your sleeve. Sleeve, really. You get your what collar. Well, I really forgot one thing, very important thing, which I shouldn't, but before making this, make sure the fabric type is not default in the preset. It's not custom. It should be knit jersey one. I use this one. Add another fabric which preset should be custom, I mean the default one, and select the color and just assign this. Later I will assign this, but for now don't assign this right now. You can also rename it like knit for now. Oh, knit for now here, and here like default. Let's make this one bigger and make sure to just flip the color, something like that. Now this is a little bit bigger. I don't want that much. Yeah, I didn't use this one for now because if you use this one, it will just go upward, which is not very ideal for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and this. Make sure this triangle is selected. I'm going to go to trace tool. Well, it is here. Then right click with the trace tool and trace as a pattern. And I have this kind of thing. All right, now what you're going to do, you need to sew this segment to this segment. So use free sew, segment sew. So from here to here. So basically this goes to let's arrange it a little bit like this. This is just an add-on like color and simulate. And now you have to make sure to make this nicer. You can add curve point to curve this thing to make things a little bit better, and always drag to that side. Now you already have, well, you already have split color vibe, which is called lapel color. This is not exactly split. If you see here, these are sewn together, so I'm gonna do that right now. I hope this is not very tricky. This is a little bit trickier, but if you're a beginner, watch it a couple of times. You will get hang of it. And if you don't understand something, just comment. I will happy to help you. So let's fix this a little bit, like how I want. Guys, you can make any shape, not any shape, but any design you want. For now, I'm making it like this, and what I'm going to do is, oh, not this one. I'm going to add point around here. So from this to this, it will be sewn with this one. So I'm going to select that and just make it like that. Perfect. Now you have to understand one thing, that you have to sew from this to this. So use free sew, and when you drag this, you can see there is a blue point or cyan color thing that goes like that. So use this as a reference. So it starts from here and goes like that, and there should be, it should start from here and go like this, and there you go. You have a color design that looks good, and let's fix a little bit. Let's make this like that. Yep, we already have nice color. You can also extend this one, extend this sewing like that. So you have to extend this sewing, so use free sew and just extend this like that. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything like this and this, right click, symmetric pyramid sewing, and you have other side as well. But as you can see, this is not very ideal. If you sew it like that, the color will, it's will not be fitted nicely. What you can do is you can select this point and drag it like that, and it will just go nicely. Don't drag it too much, otherwise there will be pointed thing which you don't want. And segment. So yeah, you see this point. What you can do is you can just add a curve point to curve this, not too much, a little bit, yeah, something like that. Looks pretty fine, I guess, I hope. And I'm gonna also need to fix this so it just rest a bit, and I think I made this way too there, so I'm gonna just make sure to shorten this segment. And also with freesawing, I'm gonna just shorten this as well. I really hope, guys, this is not very hard to follow. I really do. I really hope. Go down a little bit, and this one go down as well. Sorry, this one go this way as well. So yeah, and also this one is way too funnier looking, so I'm gonna just make sure to have, oops, not there, but around there. But I want to reduce this as well from here. Perfect. Now you can just select everything and right click and unfreeze, so it will just, the color will rest nicely. You can absolutely fix, I mean not fix, but you can absolutely let me think, manipulate however you want. So I want to extend this one a little bit, and also I want this to go a little bit down and a little bit more, and this is okay, fine, perfect, whatever. And I don't want that much of curve, should be relatively straighter side, but a little bit curve is fine, maybe a little bit less, oh, a little bit more. So yeah, that's how you can make a label color design. Maybe a little bit less loose. What is loose? A little bit down there also, not too much, a little bit. So you have, and also this one goes a little bit down. Let's see, this should be smoother enough. Yeah, perfect. And you can turn off the internal lines. So I guess that's how you can make a label color design, and I hope this is easier to follow. If it's not, just watch it a couple of times. You will get that. It's not that hard. Yeah, at first it is a bit trickier one because this is not a regular color design. So to make it in 3D, it's a bit tricky. I spent so much time just on this to how to make this color design a little bit easier. I didn't find anything less easier than that. So yeah, again, I am sorry if I am really slow. I just want to make this video very special for beginners who are like very confused about my workflow, and sometimes I go really faster. So yeah, I will be very slower. At this point, this doesn't look very amazing, I know that, but later you will see it will look very amazing. I can promise you. Now, as you can see, this area has way too much fabric, which is not very good. So you have to reduce it from the waist area. Now I'm going to use again a type of dirt here. This dirt is very simple. So I'm going to select, first I need to check from where I want to reduce the fabric, from around like this area, waist area. So I will add a point around this area with add point tool, and also in this area. And then with transform point and segment tool, I'm gonna select that, and immediately you can see this, what is this called, gizmo, I think. If you use edit pattern, you cannot see this gizmo, but when you use transform point and segment tool, you can use this gizmo. That's why this is the best tool in my opinion. So when you find this, just double click here in the middle to activate the pivot, and you know it's activated because it turns into orange, this color, yeah, and just drag this like that, and you can see both line is dragged together, and that helps you reduce the fabric, unnecessary fabric though. Everything looks fine in the back. I'm gonna select this with edit curve and just move it down a little bit. Maybe I want to reduce it a little bit more with same process. Now I'm gonna make this area a little bit beautiful. To make it, I'm gonna select this and just drag it down, and this one I want to drag it a little bit upward, something like that. Now you can see this point area, you don't want this, you just have to use curve point and just curve it like that so it makes it smoother, and also just do it a bit like that so it has a little bit shape. Perfect. And also a little bit, just a little bit like that, and a little bit like this. Perfect. Looks pretty nice. In front it has a zip. Well, let me show you. Zip. Let's make it. Well, to make a zip, first use edit sewing tool and click this sewing in the front and just delete this. And now use zipper tool. Well, to use zip tool, make sure that your entire outfit in 3D window is visible. Why did I tell you this? Because, for example, if you don't know this, if you start from here, and if you start from here, well, I have to delete this one. If you oh, come on, if you start from here and go down, you can do this nicely. But if this area is not visible in your 3D window, you cannot just select that. It just selects where this is visible in 3D window. That's why I'm saying that make sure your entire garment is showing in 3D window. So starts from here, go down, double click, and again start from here, go down, double click, and you have yourself zipper and simulate. Now we can make things better in future, but for now this is it. To be honest, I really hate zip inside of WordPress Designer, but I know I will use some cool technique to make this zipper a little bit pop. Well, something like that. So yeah, it's not now. When I will make I will detail the garment. Well, as you can see, this has a pocket. I'm gonna make the pocket. I hope at this point this is really easy to follow. I know the collar part is a little bit trickier, but if you make this, huge applause. You're amazing, and you can do amazing in future. This is optional, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So we'll select that sewing, and I want a point just around here. So if you don't know about sewing, every sewing thread every sewing has a start point and has an end point. I want something like that. So how can I know that what is the start point, what is the end point? Well, when you maybe you make a free sewing, so you start from here and maybe end from here. So this is the start, this is the end. So when you have a lot of sewing, you forget where you start, where it ends. So that's why there is this notch. The closer this notch to this point, this is the start. That means you start from here, and the further it is end. So I want a point around here in the end of the sewing. So why did I just explain this thing to you? Because there's a cool feature in edit sewing tool. So if you select that and then right click with it, you can find add point to parent on start and end. So you know where I want a point, I want at the end side. So add point to parent on end. So I have a point here. I just want to, just to make this thing, I explain this to you. It is optional. If you're overwhelmed, just keep a break and then come. No need to just torture yourself. Let's add the pocket. For pocket, I want to show the internal line, and let's also dock it here. I'm gonna use internal rectangle tool and just add a rectangle like that. And with the transform point, you can just move this rectangle where you want. You can also make this shorter, longer, bigger, whatever you want. So it should be around below the dirt. As you can see, this is not like perfect rectangle. This is something like in here, in this both side, it has a little bit curve. So I'm going to use smooth curve tool. To use this tool, just select and drag like this in the inner side, not in the outer side, but the inner side. Don't release the left mouse button. While holding the left mouse button, just click the right click and you'll find this pop up. Line 2, basically, this is, as you can see, yellow, so you can change the length of this. So I'm going to use maybe 20 millimeter. Perfect. And also line 2, 20. So they are smoother. Also, I'm going to use the same thing, right click, 20 and 20. So I have this kind of curvature, looks pretty fine. Nice. Now let's make the pocket. You can select this entire line or internal line. Use trace tool, right click, trace as a pattern, and you can have a pocket. Perfect. Now use freesaw. Freesaw. Start from here. I start from here, so I'm gonna start from here and end here. And same thing here. Start from here. Don't start from here. It will be messed up. Start from here and end here. Perfect. Select that in the 3D window. Right click and superimpose over. So it will be on top. I mean, where you need, basically. Perfect. Now select that, Control D, or you can right click with the transform point tool or transform pattern tool and symmetric pattern with sewing. Again, this doesn't look very amazing, I know. I will fix that when I will detail the things. Don't have to worry about anything right now. Only worry about the fitting and overall shape. If overall design looks good, it will be better. If overall design look bad, it will be worse. Anyway, let's now, as you can see in this area, it has gathering. I'm gonna make, so it start make internal polygon line and starts from the pocket area and maybe it goes around here. It is not a hardcore rule, so just you can, yeah, then Control C and Control V this and maybe place around here. You can just turn on the internal line. Maybe I want to make this a little bit wider, yeah. Let's check the measurement. 6. Fine. Perfect. Now select that and add elastic. Now 80 might be overkill. I'm gonna start from 90. If I need, I will add it, and it will be, there will be pinching. It's perfect. I want pinching. 85. Maybe I want a little bit more. 80. This is perfect, I guess. Maybe a little bit less. Just remember this elastic thing. The lower the ratio, it means the more elastic it will get, and the more ratio, less elastic. 75, it will give you more pinching effect. This is overkill. 80 should be fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna again use internal polygon line and add this entirely. Well, there a hidden gem feature that I'm gonna be explaining right now. So when you add this, and when you know that you want to extend this all the way to the this end, just don't drag it. Right? It's more work. Just click somewhere here and also make this and click somewhere here. Then select these 2 points with edit parent tool, right click, extend trim to parent outline. So it will just extend this entirely. This is a cool feature, I believe. You can just turn on off this. Perfect. Now let's make one of the key visual point of this jacket, which is the belt kind of thing. So it starts. I'm gonna start from around here. So in the back. So just make a internal line like this. But as you can see, let's show the internal line. As you can see, nothing. This is not straight. So in order to make things nicer, you have to make this like this. So it will also look good, but it will also help the belt to simulate nicely. This is optional. You can make this straight. It's not a big deal. So I want this around 30. So I'm gonna right click with edit pattern tool, change length 30. I want to make a rectangle with rectangle pattern, and this length should be 30. So it is, well, it is 32.4. That means it is 2.4 millimeter wider. So I'm gonna use edit pattern, just drag it, then right click and 2.4. So that gives you the 30 millimeter. Perfect. Now I'm gonna rotate it and place it where it should be. This is a little bit bigger. I'm gonna make it smaller. Cool. Then segment sewing. If I find where it is, segment sewing. Yep. And just segment sew like that and simulate. So it will go down. Don't worry. Oh, make sure this one is assigned to knit fabric. I want the belt loop. It should be around here. So I'm gonna make a belt loop of maybe 10 millimeter. No, 15 millimeters. So drag and right click at 5. So it is 15 millimeter. And as you can see, this, if you make this straight, it will be straight here, but I don't want straight. It should be around this. So maybe a little bit like this. Also copy and paste around here. This length should be bigger than 30 because our belt is 30. So there's a cool thing how to measure this, which is to use internal line. So you can just like that with 37. Perfect. You can simulate right now, so don't worry about that. I can fix it here. So use belt loop. So I'm gonna again add another rectangle of, this is 15.4, but I want 15. So I'll just drag it, right click, 0.4, 15. Drag it, right click, 0.4, 15. Okay. So this should be 15. So this is 9.8. So I need 5.2. So right click, right, and drag and right click, 5.2, 15. Perfect. Just make this a little bit bigger. Now belt, well, I think this is much bigger. 10 should be fine. So just drag and maybe, let's see, let's go 12. So drag, right click and 3, 12. Also there, drag, right click, 3, 12. If not, I will change it later. So don't worry about that. So select that and that, then right click, offset as internal line. So I have an offset, I have internal line there. 5 is okay, but I'm gonna go 6. Then in the 3D window, I will place it carefully on this line like that. Something like that, maybe. Yep. Now belt loop is, well, let me show you. So use fold arrangement tool to select this fold, this internal line, and just use this red arrow and just do this, and with that as well, do this. So I need to make it bigger, so I'm going to select that and just move it upward, and this mess up with that. Oh, come on, right click, and what I did is right click and reset 3D arrangement. So yeah, close here, sometimes do that. Yeah, now use segment sewing tool. If I find there is so from here to here, this is the top one and the bottom one there. Don't sew this line, sew only this line and simulate. Now this looks kind of very funny looking because this is a very tiny piece of fabric, but the vertical distance is way too big for this, so I'm going to use maybe 5. Yeah, I will reduce it way too much later, but don't worry about that right now. I think this hole needs to get a little bit bigger, so just select and drag this. There you go. You have to put the belt with that, so for that I'm going to use select mesh with box, and I'm going to select this entire mesh, click here, just rotate like that and place it here. It's typical 3D modeling, so just do this. You can also use pins, but I don't want to make your life hell. Yeah, I shouldn't use that word, sorry. But anyway, let's put this here. Basically I hate pins, that's why I do that. Yeah, something like that. So now if we simulate and just drag this, you have belt, and that follows in the belt loop. Perfect, amazing. Now I want another belt loop, so I'm gonna copy and paste right about here. There. Also copy and paste the belt loop as well. So let's figure these things out. Place it nicely, no overlapping, just there, perfect. And again, segment sewing from here to top to bottom to bottom. Oh, make sure the sewing threads are not bad. Again, I'm going to use this one, and let's, well, there's another thing there is so much information, I know, but listen, stay with me. If you select that, and if you want to select more, if you press just shift and that, this will happen. Instead, press Ctrl and Shift and just add more. And if you want to reduce it, press only Ctrl and just. So now let's rotate it in 3D window like that. I'm sorry guys, there are too much information in this video, and yeah, for a beginner perspective, I feel you might want to slap me. Just slap me if you see me in real life. But yeah, should be inside like that. Basically, like perfect. Now if you see, this belt front is not entire rectangle, so I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the add point and split line tool, right click here, uniform split, to make this right in the middle. Okay, then again right click, maybe I want it here in 3. Same thing here, right click 3, and you can just delete this one. So I have something like that, so I'm going to select that, this two with edit parent tool, and just drag like that. Perfect. And I'm going to select everything and make these a little bit shorter. Just one more belt. I promise it will be over. So I'm going to select this one, copy and paste. This should be very easy because it's just copy and paste thing. So copy and paste this one as well. Place it nicely. Segment so here. and also copy and paste here, right about there, and copy and paste right about there. A little bit more, maybe select that, copy and paste right about there. Now belt loop, just copy and paste here. Oops, not this one. Copy and paste here. Let's place it where it should be, here. So segment, so from this to this, watch it carefully, this might be confusing. So copy and okay, copy and paste again, and let's see where it is. Place it nicely, there you go, and copy segments, so like this. Make sure that your sewing threads, all sewing threads are same, I mean not reversed. I knew it would happen. So let's right click and deactivate. Perfect. Then right click and activate this, and use this one again, use this like this, and just make sure this should go inside the belt loop. And please glow 3D, oh come on. This one, this should not, this should be over like that. Now they want to go down, but yeah, you just have to make sure like that, and just freeze it like this, and also this one, freeze it for now. When I will add detail, it will be nicer, and it will try to stay, well, it will go down, but yeah. So I'm going to select that, right click, symmetric pattern with sewing, then like that. Let's just place it nicely, and also the belt loop, Control D to symmetric pattern with sewing. Let's, yep, and then right click, unfreeze, make sure there is, and just freeze it. Again, I use hotkeys. I told in the very beginning that I will not use hotkeys, but yeah, we just have it. All right, so right click and freeze this. So yeah, pretty much everything is done, except nothing is done. We have to make it nicer. Even there are too much of, like, I'm gonna use this to reduce some fabric. Yeah, because I didn't see it, I'm sorry. I have to reduce some fabric, so I also need to make sure that this is a little bit shorter, and also this one a little bit like that. This is now looking a little bit nicer. Alright guys, now let's start adding the detail on this jacket. Now we have the base form, and make sure that this is looking nice. And yeah, now let's make the detailing part. So I'm gonna just start it by adding an extra fabric on top of this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select, let me just dug it again. So I'm gonna select the edit pattern tool, and I'm gonna select this, and this, and then trace tool, right click, trace as a pattern, and just now I'm going to use the free sewing tool, and I'm going to segment sewing tool, and I'm going to sew like that, like that, like that, and like that. I'm going to select this in 3D window, right click, and superimpose over. Here is one thing that I will explain, which is the collision thickness. This is the add collision thickness. By default it's 2.5, and what it means by it, if you know it, you can skip it. If you don't know, watch this. As I explained, the skin offset of a character, if you remember, that is the distance between the fabric and the skin of the avatar. But every pattern piece, no matter what pattern piece, every pattern piece has this thing, thickness collision, which is basically, and again, the invisible shield type that goes behind and in front of every pattern piece. So 2.5 means as I just right click and superimpose over it, there will be 2.5 millimeter of gap. If I decrease that, maybe 2, maybe 1, and then right click and again superimpose over, so the distance will decrease as well. So this is pretty useful in this scenario. As you can see earlier, it was just intersecting with this belt, but if I just do the thickness collision 1 and then superimpose over, this has solved the issue, and it will also help making it pop when I reduce the vertical distance. I'm going to simulate that. So it needs to go, the vertical distance should be maybe 5. That's cool. And I'm going to also free sew this top to this top, so it's just nice and connected. And also in the bottom, so I'm going to just like this and like this. Well, yeah, something like that. And then I'm going to select that, right click and symmetric pattern with sewing, and it will be go like this. Let me see, segment sewing, yeah, it is sewn. Okay, so I'm gonna just go and reduce the vertical distance even more, maybe 3, and collision thickness 1. But why it's not connecting? Let me see, segment sewing, I have this sewing. So I'm gonna do one thing. I'm not sure what happens there. So I'm gonna just delete all the sewing like this, and I'm gonna add, well, an internal line like that, then right click here and cut and sew. So I just divided that thing, and segment sew from here to here, oops, here to here. Make sure these segment sewing are nice. Let's simulate first, so just nicely done there. Then again segment sew this one like that, and so yeah, this resolved the problem. Perfect. Now you can see, if I toggle off the internal line, we have a nice hem looking things. Now let's add a hem here in the down area, but before that let me just manage and move the pattern a little bit. Now I'm gonna select edit pattern tool and just select this and this, well, yeah, and then right click, offset as internal line. I'm gonna make this distance maybe 8 millimeter and hit OK. So I have this kind of thickness of the hem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this, 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 and this. Basically, when we try to trace the pattern, the 4 corners should be selected. So as you can see, these 4 corners are selected, and then trace tool, right click, trace the pattern. If you don't select all 4, if you trace it, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, then segment sew. I'm gonna sew from here to here, I mean top to top and bottom to bottom. Make sure it is nice, and then here in the 3D window, right click, superimpose over. Let's focus on this, simulate. Perfect. Now you cannot see any like popping detail, but there are two things you need to do, which is decrease the vertical distance and make the collision thickness to 1, and that will make, let me show you, if I just make it like 3 and this is 1, if I simulate, this thing will pop and look much better. Okay, I want to do one other thing. I want to just switch this to GPU simulation. It is good, and yeah, it is faster. That's the only reason. I can I can decrease the particle distance however I want. As you can see in the front, I just don't want to select all four like this and then trace, so it will be overlapping with this. If you can visualize this, this is amazing. So the hemline will be like that, but if I make it all the way to there, there will be there will be like clipping with this. I don't want this, so I'm gonna just divide that. How? It's very simple. I'm gonna select this, this and this, like this section, and then trace tool, right click, trace as a pen. So I have just divided this. Now segment saw from top, no sorry, free saw from like this and to top like this. Whoa. So I'm gonna just oh, not M and free sawing tool. So something like that, and from here to there, and also in the bottom like this, like that. Perfect. Now I want this one like a little gap, so I'm going to select this one, this and this. I hope you understand this, and if you don't, just go back and rewind this thing. And trace tool, right click, trace as a pattern. So I have, if you have some kind of this thing, do not freak out. Just select edit pattern and select this point and just delete it. Let's place it where it should be, and then again free saw. I'm gonna start from here and like this. I'm gonna start from here and like this. Start from here and there. It will be automatically snap when this two edges are same measurement. I'm gonna select both. You can right click here, you can right click on this gizmo, or here just right click, superimpose over. There you go. So now as you can see there, come on, yeah, now as you can see there is no overlapping thing, which is kind of crucial. Yeah, now same thing, select that, decrease this, and also decrease the collision thickness to 1, so it will pop and give you nice detail. But as you can see there are gap in between there, so we need to sew it. It's pretty simple, but I really forgot one thing and I'm sorry about this. Let's delete this one. No, let's delete the back one. I'm really sorry guys, let's delete this one because I want to add more detail on the side seam. So how to do it? It's pretty simple. Just select every pattern piece, like all you have, just select this. I always forget this, what is this called, transform pattern tool, and just click Ctrl A to select everything. And here as you can see in the geometry, in the property editor geometry, there is a rendering thickness. Well, there are two kind of thickness, which is a collision thickness and the rendering thickness. I just explained the collision thickness. The rendering thickness is basically the visual indicator of the thickness of a pattern. Like every pattern piece has this. If you increase this, let's increase this to an obvious one, maybe 5 millimeter. So you can see this whenever I try enter, it will be thicker, as you can see. So that's only possible if you don't see it. Make sure that your garment rendering style is thickly textured surface, not textured surface. If it is textured surface, you cannot see the thickness. So make sure it is thick textured surface. That's why I love to work with thick textured surface. Well, I don't want this kind of thick balloony effect, so just make it 0. So I'm going to select every pattern piece, and then rendering thickness, I'm going to go with 1. So yeah, I have some kind of thickness there. And the most probably the obvious reason why I did this, because to make the zip look more good, better. There is no word called more good. But I don't want the thickness everywhere. I don't want on the collar, pocket. I don't want in the belt, and I definitely want in the collar. So just select all of them by holding shift and just make it 0. Perfect for now. I also don't want this because I already make it nicer, so it doesn't need to go. Yeah. Now, why I did this, it's very simple. I'm gonna select this line, this back pattern piece, select that with edit parent tool. You can delete this one, you don't need it right now. Good. Select this, right click, offset as internal line, and not 8, I'm gonna go with 3 maybe, and hit OK. So not 3, maybe 4 or 5. Let's see how much deep it is. It is too deep. Let's go with 3.5. Hit OK. This is perfect. I'm going to select this new internal line, then right click on it with, of course, edit parent tool and cursor. So I have now new piece here and here as well, because they are, well, symmetric pattern. So whatever you do here, it will be reflected there. So select that, and let's make this thickness to 0. Now you have an amazing thickness there. Well, you might say you can just add, show the seam line. It'll show the seam line. So why I bother doing this? Because, well, first of all, the only reason, the seam line of this, like the garment display, is not real thing. It's a detail map or normal map. So let's forget about that. Okay. So as you can guess, this one is 8 millimeters. So I'm gonna also right click, offset as internal line, 8 millimeter, hit OK. And again, select all 4 segments with edit parent tool, then trace tool, right click, trace as a pattern. I hope, guys, this is really not very hard to follow. I am trying really as much as I can to explain everything. So this video will be really big and really lengthy. So yeah, trying to explain everything in my, from my very tiny brain. So I'm going to use segment sew, and I'm going to sew it top and the bottom. Then select that, right click in the 3D window and superimpose over. So yeah, now there will be a little bit, why I'm stuttering, there will be a little bit of gap. That's perfect. And also free sewing, and start from here to here and here to here. You can always, please, always visualize in the 3D window. It's the best way you can learn this. So as you can see, I just sewed this one. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. 3 millimeter vertical distance and 1 millimeter of rendering collision thickness. If I simulate, there will be pop. Nice and amazing. Now let's sew it. Free sew from this to this, from this to this. No, I'm just thinking, how am I just not using any hotkeys? Damn. I'm gonna start from here to here, here to here. So it's just shown together from here to here, here to here, and simulate. So there will be nicer. Make sure the rendering thickness of them is 0. Now select all of them, just right click and symmetric pattern with sewing. Right click, symmetric pattern with sewing. There you go. Now they're kind of messed up. Select everything, then right click, superimpose over. So they're now on top of it, and then simulate. Also you have to sew the front area. Let's see, free sewing from down to there, and it will be automatically sewn there. This is why it is doing like that. I know why, because I have to make sure to lower the vertical distance of this as well. So there, and also this is 1 rendering thickness and this is 0. This is sometimes does that, but it's not a big deal. Of course not. Okay, so we made the hem. So you have to show in the back, and this time I'm gonna show in the 3D window because that's relatively easier like this. Otherwise I have to go from here and then go here, yeah, and simulate, of course. Yeah, perfect, amazing. All right, now let's start with the color because I love color. Let's try to add some detail there. So let me fix a little bit. If it's going there, that's not a problem. It's not. You can always use curve, edit curve point tool, and just edit this existing curve to make things a little bit thicker so it doesn't just go there. Let's maybe like this. Let's do this. It's okay, color does that. You don't have to worry so much about it. Now select this two, right click in the 2D window and layer clone over on top of it. So make sure it is on top of the previous pattern. Now there are two things I need to do. When you layer clone over or under any pattern, there are two things that it does. First, it adds the this works as an instance, meaning if I manipulate this, it will be manipulated the newer pattern, which I don't want, of course not. So I'm going to select this, right click and remove linked editing. So now if I manipulate this, only these two will be modified. That's perfect because they are symmetric pattern. And I also want this because I removed the linked editing. That's why if I manipulate this, that pattern will not be manipulated. So I want that because I don't want this. I want to select this, right click, and here in apply linked editing, I'm going to select symmetric pattern with sewing. If I click that, if I now modify this, it will be modified that. That's perfect. This too I want. I hope this is clear to you. Now, another thing that it does when layer clone over or under, it adds the sewing to this. I want to sew from that to that, but I want to do it manually. So I'm going to select everything on the top, not from the bottom. This is the previous one, and this is sewn to the main garment. You don't want to mess up with this sewing. Just select this newer pattern and delete the sewing. Nice. Now let's add free sew. Let's go free sew. Not free sew, segment sew. From here to here. Always check on the 3D window that how it is sewn. From here to here. Perfect. Also from here to here. That's also perfect. And again from here to here. And simulate. Now, this doesn't look very amazing. This looks kind of like a pillow. If I like decrease the particle distance, if you don't know, decreasing the particle distance means we have more density, means more detail. So I'm gonna go 5. It will be more like more pillow. It is bad. I mean, if you make this color like this, this is not good. So to make this perfect, I mean, not perfect. Perfect is not a word. I mean, it's a myth. To make this nicer, all you have to do is just select all this segment from here and the newer pattern like that. Then right click on one of them and offset as internal line. 8 might be overkill. I'm going to go with 5 like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go free sew. You can also segment sew like one by one. That's also perfect, also cool. And yeah, it is also cool, but I don't want this. I'm gonna go with free sewing. You can start from here and go all the way to that. And there are another really fast way of doing this, which is select the free sew. Just remember where you're clicking. Let's suppose I'm gonna click here. So double click to select everything and do the same thing here. Don't go any other point. Just you start from here, just so start from here, double click and they are now selected, sewn together. Wait, why they're not sewn? I don't know. Let's see. Let's go free sewing. Start from here. Start from here. Now they're sewn. Let's, yeah. Now as you can see, there are really nice stitch effect, and it also reduces the balloon effect from the edge, and it is really crucial. Please get hang of it. Like, it is amazing way to make things really nicer. So yeah, this is looking nice. I want to reduce it more, maybe 3, because I'm using GPU simulation, so I can really make the particle distance really low. GPU simulation is good, by the way. It's good for detailing. Now, what I did with this color, I'm gonna do the same thing with this color. So I'm gonna select that, right click, layer clone over, like that. I hope you already understand. Then right click, remove linked editing, go with edit sewing, then delete the sewing, select this, right click, symmetric pattern with sewing. Let's sew like that. Yeah, you can just go like this, and in the back, make sure don't sew it like that, sew it like this. And let's reduce the particle distance. Let me check one thing. Oh, I forgot. Just select everything. Make sure the collision thickness is 1, not 2.5. Yeah. Now select all of them. Reduce the particle distance maybe 4, and collision thickness to 1. Perfect. Now select all of them. There are also faster way of selecting this, which is to select, just click with edit parent tool to one of the segment, and just double click, it will be selected. But you cannot do that here, you have to manually do that with holding shift. Then right click, layer, offset internal line 5 should be fine. Let's free sew from here to here and simulate. Now you have amazing color. Great. I'm sorry, I am childish a little bit, and I love this kind of detail. You can avoid this kind of thing, but I really love this. So yeah, maybe I want to go a little bit more of collision thickness, maybe 1.5, so it will be more visible detail there. Yeah, so as you can see, just by doing a simple thing, the color looks really far better than previous. Okay, it's perfect. Now let's start the color. Why do I keep calling this color? This is pocket. So I'm gonna select the pocket pattern. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some not detail, but yeah, some detail, something like that. So what I'm gonna do is I actually forgot what I'm gonna do. Let's reduce the particle distance, maybe 6. I will reduce it even more later, but not now. And collision thickness to 1. Let's simulate. Perfect. Now let's select this, right click, offset as internal line. 5 would be overkill. I'm gonna go with 3. Hit OK. And I'm gonna also select this one. This is sewn to that, and then right click, offset as internal line, same 3. And as you can see, this extend the every whole points there. So there's a cool way to do fix this. So select this point with edit parent tool, right click on this point, extend trim to pattern inline, because see, this is the inline, okay, I mean internal line, so it's basically inline, and these are outer line. So there are 2 lines, this is internal, this is outer. So select that. I want this point to go here, so right click, extend trim to internal line. Boom. Select that, extend trim to internal line. There you go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the segment sew and sew it with the internal line, like the new internal line that I just made. I hope this is not very hard or tedious to follow. Make sure the sewing threads are straight, and Okay, so you have this kind of detail, looks nice. Okay, um what I want a little bit of rendering thickness to this color, so maybe 0.5. Yeah, so now I can make the detail on top of it. So I'm going to select the internal rectangle line tool, and I'm going to just add a detail like that. You can toggle on the internal line to see how this is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to select the transform pattern tool and just double click in the middle to activate the pivot, so I can just move it from the both side and something like that, maybe a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this pattern, this rectangle, and how I did that I just explained. So select that one time with edit pattern tool and double click to select everything, then right click and offset as internal line 2 millimeter, hit OK. Now select both pattern like this, double click and double click, then right click, condenser. So now you have something like this. Yeah, again, when you have this kind of shape, like a big hole in the middle, if you drag from here in the internal line, it just select the internal line, which is not, it will not let you move that. So instead you just select from the outside and just move it. I don't know why this is the thing, but yeah. Now you can select this line and reduce the rendering thickness to 0. So you have this kind of detail. When you disable the internal line, boom. I love it. It's kind of like a futuristic type of thing, which I love it. I mean, it's not very organic, but yeah, it's good. Now let's fix this thing a little bit more, a little bit better, so it looks a little bit better. So I'm going to select that, right click, offset in the internal line, maybe 5 millimeter, and I need 2 of them. So number of offset 2. So as you can see, I have 2 things there. I need OK. Again, do the same thing, right click, condenser. Now let's manage the pattern a little bit and select this one. There are now 3 pieces. This is 1, this is 2, and the rest of this is 3. So I'm going to select the 2 one and reduce the rendering thickness to 0. So I have something like that. Maybe, yeah. Let's undo. These are a little bit. So I'm going to right click and internal line. I don't want 5. I want 3. Yeah. Then right click, condenser. Let's arrange that. Select this one, and let's rendering thickness to 0. So we have a little bit of detail, and I love this. This makes this thing better, really. And on top of it, you can do one more thing. You can select this first one, and maybe increase a little bit, 1.3, something like that. So it looks kind of nice because it's now, there is now more, what can I say, depth to it. If it's flat, it doesn't look that good. If I like everything just maybe 0, it's not that good compared to this. So yeah, I hope you understand that. So that's how I just make things. Yeah, so it is coming to life. Not until I make the belt nicely. So let's make the belt. First one, let's select that and right click and unfreeze. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add visual detail. Not just only visual, but I also want to right click and layer clone over. So there are 2 patterns. Perfect. But as I explained when I was making this, which is, as you can see, by default this pattern's collision thickness is 2.5. That means there are 2.5 millimeter of gap, and that is intersecting with the belt loop. If you simulate, don't. Oh, that's nice. It just sometimes it just do crazy things. So to fix that, it's pretty simple. Just make it 1. I'm gonna make it 1 anyway. So I'm gonna select that again, right click and superimpose over, so they're not intersecting that much, and simulate. Okay, I don't know what MD is doing, but let's seriously, let's go 0.2 and then right click, superimpose over, simulate. Okay, now I'm going to select both of the pattern, then decrease the particle distance to maybe 4 and collision thickness to 1 and simulate. So they are now a little bit, they will behave a little bit of balloon like thing, but I want this. What I'm going to do is okay, before doing that, you can also do one thing. Because I layer cloned over it, so I need to right click and remove linked editing. Also with the edit sewing, I'm going to delete the sewing. So now I'm going to sew it, the segment sew, from this to this, this to this, this to this, and maybe free sew from this to this. Perfect. I think no, they're not sewn. Free sew from this to this and simulate. So do not do this. So as you can see, I just make this reversed, so don't do this. So I'm gonna select the B, I mean this edit sewing, then right click here, reverse sewing. Yeah, it just really messed things up really bad. And yeah, this will do something like that, which looks pretty nice. Anyway, so to fix this, I'm going to select everything and also everything from here, then right click and offset as internal line. I'm going to go with, first of all, number of offset should be 1 and this should be 3.5. hit OK. Perfect. Now free sew, double click here, double click here. If you simulate, you will get amazing belt, and which is amazing. Of course it is amazing. So let's what is that? Okay, so reduce this again, maybe 2, collision thickness should be 1, and let's simulate. So now you have amazing looking belt. Wow. You can select everything, this two, right click and freeze for now. I'm going to do the same thing with that, so I will not explain that much. So right click, layer clone over, again right click, remove linked editing. With edit sewing tool, I'm going to delete the sewing and select both, right click and unfreeze first of all, and then segment sew from this to this, this to this, this to this, free sew this to this. Let's sew it. Perfect. Now select both, reduce it to maybe 2 and collision thickness to 1. It will be balloon, but that's fine. I'm going to select all, right click, internal line 3.5. Perfect. Free sew, double click, and you have the belt. Perfect. Now I'm going to select both and right click, freeze it. Okay, so these are now new patterns. I'm going to select these new patterns, then right click, symmetric pattern with sewing. Let's just put it down there, so it will be there. Now select everything on the right side, right click, unfreeze. These are the bottom belt, these are the top belt. So this is the top of the top belt. So select that, right click and superimpose over. There we go. Let's okay, and also select that, right click, superimpose over, simulate both of them. Nice, both looks amazing. Let's select everything, right click and freeze, and do a little bit this, and yeah, select both, right click and freeze. Perfect. Now they look better than before, don't you agree? Yeah, amazing, I agree. Now let's make nicer, let's detail the belt loop. How to do it? It's very simple. First of all, I'm going to select every belt loop and particle distance I'm going to go with 2, and this is rendering thickness of 1. This is kinda what can I say, aggressive, so I'm gonna go 0.4. All right, perfect. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this line and this line, then right click, offset as internal line. Okay, now this is 3.5, but I want 3. Okay, so first one is 3. No, not 3. I'm gonna go 2.5. So first one is 2.5. Then again, right click on the newer internal line, offset as internal line, and the second one would be 0.8. Because no, I'm gonna go 1. So first of all, first internal line will be 2.5, and then it will be 1. Why I do this? I'm gonna select all this internal line, then right click, cut and sew. Oh, what? Okay, maybe 0.1, I mean 1 will not be there, so delete that. So first one, as you remember, the internal line would be 2.5, and the second internal line, and I'm gonna make things maybe 1.3 or maybe 1.5. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna select all of them and then right click, cut and sew. Perfect. Make sure their sewing is still intact, which is this. Perfect. And I'm going to select this two in the middle one and decrease the rendering thickness to 0. So I have something like that, which looks pretty nice in my opinion. So let's arrange it a little bit. I hope you understand this. This not very hard, is it? Yeah. So I'm going to select this and this, right click. I'm going to show you one more time, then I will skip it. So right, this and this, right click, offset as internal line. First one will be 2.5. Hit OK. Then right click again, offset as internal line. The second one will be 1.5. Hit OK. Select every internal line, right click, and cut and sew. And this middle one, the middle thing, just make sure this is rendering thickness of 0. Perfect. Now you can just do this and this the same way. It will be affected here as well. So I'm gonna just skip it and I will just see you just in a bit. Oh, by the way guys, I am very stupid. You can just select all of them and do the same thing in just one go. Yeah, my brain, there is no brain in my skull, so I'm sorry about that. But you don't have to make everything like single time. You just select everything and do it in one go. Then right click, cut and sew. Yep, and then select this and this. Let's zero it out. Perfect. Looks nice. Okay, most of the thing are done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this bigger pattern pieces and reduce it to, let's see, 6. And this one, like this smaller thingy, I'm gonna go with 5 maybe. Don't need to go overboard. This one, go 2, and this is also 5. Perfect. And if I simulate, everything will look nice. Okay, not gonna lie, I need to address this. Sometimes like making dirt, when I made the last time, see, there is no this kind of thing, but this time I don't know what I did wrong here. I did something wrong here. So to fix this, you can do is you can use the steam tool. It is not recommended, by the way, but if you don't have any option, you can use this steam tool. You can just click here to see in the 3D window, which is here, of course. Let's decrease the size, maybe 5, and just gradually click, and it will be gone. Yeah, this is not by any means recommended, but yeah, if you don't have any option left, which is like this, you can use this. All right guys, so the 90% of the design process is really done. Now let's see how to make this kind of thing. It is pretty simple. I hope already many of you already guessed it, and if you guessed it, just end this video here maybe, or because I don't want to just waste your time. So yeah, if you want to watch, amazing, thank you, thank you. Anyway, let's match it up nicely. Perfect. This is the top one and this is the bottom one, but we need both. So let's make a hole inside here, right about here. So I'm gonna select the internal ellipse tool, and I'm gonna hold shift and just make a uniform circle or ellipse or whatever. So I don't want that big. It must snap in the middle. Make sure like it should start, like you can do one thing, you can just add a point in the middle, so it will be add not point but internal line. It will be snapped there, and just make a straight line by holding shift around here. It is not necessary, but it will help you to determine where this is in the middle. So select that. Let's see first. Let's reduce this one a little bit, so with of course transform pattern tool, and let's make it in the middle. You can turn on the show line to see how much big it is you want. Maybe a little bit bigger. What, where this is to, oh okay, so let's make it a bit bigger and like this. Then Control C and Control C and Control V. Instead of left click, right click. The interval, the distance maybe 12, and number of shapes 2. So there are 3 shapes. You can go more, it's up to you completely, of course. I'm going to select this, this and this. Control C and Control V. It should be in the middle. So this is in the middle already. So let's see. It will be snap in the middle, and it is in the middle. You can delete this. This is just the a guideline of what is in the middle. So I'm going to select them. Let's select them. Right click and make a hole. Great. Now you have to sew it, otherwise there will be gap, which you don't want. So free sew. I'm gonna start from front, top. So double click. You don't need to just click and there. Yeah. When there is a loop, you can just double click. Make sure you start from top. You end from top. Perfect. Now simulate. It will not be nicer, I know. Yeah, there will be a little bit balloony effect, but to address this, you can go a little bit further. How? You can select all this, right click, add internal line, and I'm going to add maybe 1. Yeah, and hit OK. So when you add the internal line, and if you just select that, you will see nice detail there. Because, well, when you add internal lines, this is a little bit technical. Let's explain a little bit. Just I'm gonna use a really short amount of time. So if you add a fabric there, let's see, and let's see the wireframe. So this is the basically the topology. So if I decrease it, as you can see, the topology increases. So now you see this is random. Now when you add internal line, like anywhere, like this, so as you can see, it's not just a line, it's actually manipulating the shape of the topology. So as you can see, these are internal line, this is the internal line, so there are actual topology or edge of that. So yeah, that really helps here. If I see it, this one maybe, so it just adds an internal line around it. So let's see, as you can see it, so that's why you can see this kind of detail there. Yeah it's just technical term. I really don't like much technical things, but it's good to It's good to know. Let's add buttons. I can just cancel this. I'm gonna go in the button tab, and in the default button, let's go and let's change the button type or shape to any of this one ring thingy, and I want to use this eyelet 02, and let's dock it here. You can access this from here, so it's better. Okay, so start from here, button, and add here. You cannot add in the empty space, so I'm gonna add here. Okay, cool. Now this is a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna select this default button thing, and width I'm gonna reduce it maybe 18 or 15. I need to see it. Thickness I need a little bit flatter, so I want maybe 3 or maybe 2. Perfect. Now it's very important, select the button tool and select the button. Make sure the collision is disabled, is off, otherwise it will really mess with the thing. Use select and move in the 3D window. Do not use this select button, use this one to like rotate and move and whatever you want to do. And this is still big, so I'm gonna select that and make it 12. Now this might feel a little bit better. Let's, oh come on, in the button, let's just rotate a little bit and place it where it should be. These are just extra. You can avoid this. Yeah, I'm just doing this because I love this kind of little detail. Really, I love this. If you like me, yeah, you should. So like that, copy and paste here. Use this one, and and of course, go like that. Perfect. Maybe a little bit rotation must be nice, like this. Yeah. And again, select the button, select this button, Control C, Control V here. Why I'm not using this? Because if you move with that, it will be chaotic. Don't use this. So I'm going to use this move and just move it there. Let's. Sometimes when you go really zoomed in, if you select, like if I go really zoomed in, I cannot. Oh yeah, you cannot select the gizmo. It's because you are too close to this. Don't do this. The button don't like it. Just go a little bit further. You can see the gizmo. Then you can just change it, rotate it with that. Okay, so at a distance, it looks pretty nice. Now I just showed you one this thing. It's wrist. It's like same thing. You can just add with the select button. Can copy and paste here and just no, not here. You can, sorry, not copy and paste, but you can select this and Control C and Control V. If you let's first just arrange it properly. Okay, so they are in line, in parallel line. So just double click, or you can select everything, double click, Control C and Control V, and just go straight and like this, and it will be like that. Perfect. Control C, select this, Control C, Control V, and just hit this. So it's just simple, and you can just sew it. I'm not going to show you because I don't want to waste any more time. I'm going to just everything I'm going to skip it, and I'll just show you in a second. Okay, so when you're done with one side, you can do is you can select this right side or the other side, then right click on freeze, just simulate just a bit. Yeah, and then you can select this select button, select all the button from here, then right click and duplicate to symmetric pattern, and you still need to manipulate this, so I'm going to just quickly manipulate them. I don't want to waste your time again. Okay, so as you can see, at a distance it looks really good and I really love it. So there are one thing basically I want to add, which is some like staple button on top of this stitch line. So how to do it is pretty simple. I'm gonna select this, I'm gonna add a button in the button layout, and I'm gonna select this button. Let's see which one. I'm gonna select this one, maybe this one, which is the, let's see, this one, Sanks, I think it's Sank button 2. Yeah. So now I'm gonna find where I want this. I want this on the top of this. So let's button, make sure this button is selected. Select one, it will select the line, and again select it there. And you need to just manipulate the size. So maybe I want 10, and thickness I don't want that much, maybe 5. Perfect. Now let's see. I'm gonna move it where it should be, like manipulate the position there a little bit. It should be exactly in the stitch line, like that. Isn't it good? Yeah. I don't want any collision, so select this button and collision, and this in the button tab, select that button, and maybe I'm gonna make it 8 or maybe 7. I want it smaller. Yeah. Now with the button select, I'm gonna select this button, and I'm gonna go maybe here, another maybe here, another here, another here. There you go. Perfect. And I need to just manipulate a little bit, so I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. Perfect. Now once one side is done, select the button, then right click and duplicate to symmetric pattern, and they'll be perfect. I think if they're like popping up a little bit, just do one thing. You don't have to manipulate all of them individual, just select that, and here you can see the thread length, just make it -2, and there will be down, and that's perfect. Maybe -1.8. Okay. Last thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add button here as well. So let's add first here, same button. So button, this button, and let's add, first select and then add. Perfect. Then select button, select this, Control C Control V here, also Control C Control V. I'm gonna add 2 more, so here once, Control V here once, and yeah, perfect. Now I want here one of them, and another is there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is select button again, select everything. They're popping up, so I'm gonna just in the thread length -1.8. they are now nicely done. So let's right click and duplicate to symmetric pattern. Cool, amazing. Let's just select both buttons and make sure they're the type metal. I'm not gonna spend time on texturing this because this video is already over maybe 1.5 hours, maybe more. I don't know, maybe it exceeds 2 hours. So yeah, please let me know. This is the first time I'm doing this much detailing thing. Not all my video will be this detailed, but yeah. Just let me know if you learn something from it. So last thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to select B to like edit sewing tool, and then select this one. This is the back pattern. Right click, merge. This one as well. Right click, this sewing. Right click, merge. So there are no seam in middle. You can also do with the collar, but that's perfect. There is no seam visible there. So yeah, guys, this is it. One last thing, you can also add buttons here. It's completely up to you. I just don't want to waste more time on adding buttons. This is no fun watching this. You can select this zipper, and you can change the slider, change the puller, whatever. However, I mean, like you can use this one. This is also nice. Why not? Then you can also select the zipper, and from plastic you can use metal. You can use anything you want. It is completely up to you. That's why I'm saying, yeah. And again, you can also add top stitch and do all the crazy stuff. And I really let you, the main character, and do everything. But I also want you to do one other thing, which is if you make this and if any variation of this design, just tag me on Instagram. It is really, I'll be so glad to see see your art. I'm really interested in it, so I can't wait to see your creation. Yeah, so, and I think this is it for this video. Yeah, this video is filled with tons of information. So I really hope that you get something from it. And thank you so much, Liquid Andy, to join the member. You are amazing.